On Backyard Farmer, we've been hearing a lot about rain gardens, bioretention swales, and other waterways designed to be gardens that clean the water before it makes it to a river or a stream. And some of the best plants for these rain gardens or bioretention swales are our native sedges or native carex. Don't confuse our native sedges with the yellow nut sedge. The yellow nut sedge is not native, it's from Europe and has quite frankly become a weed, as we all know. But our native sedges, again over 60 species native to the state, are really the workhorse of the rain garden because they're some of the best plants at cleaning the water. But not only do they clean the water, they provide very much a vertical element, a fine texture for the garden, as well as greening up very early in the spring. One of the first things to green up in the spring are our native sedges, thus competing with those early annual weeds that become such a problem in these rain gardens. This is one of our native sedges here. This is called Bottlebrush Sedge. As you can see, very appropriately named with a cute little bottle brush like seed heads. Sedges, our native sedges, aren't these loud, wow, pizzazz plants, but what they are workhorse plants designed to clean the water that also provide a design element in the garden. This is one of our native sedges. This one is called Foxtail Sedge. I guess somebody felt the seed heads kind of looked like a fox's tail, so hence the name. What I like about this little native sedge is it's a little bunch grass or a little bunch-like grass, and it doesn't get very tall. In full seed head, maybe 18 inches at the very most. Nice, dainty, attractive, dark color to it with this nice bright green clump of a grass-like plant. Again, being a sedge, it cleans the water, greens up early in the year, and provides a nice fine texture to the garden. Hands down, one of the favorite native sedges to use in rain gardens, and quite frankly in any garden, is the palm sedge. And looking at this plant, you can see why it's so popular. It offers a whole lot for the garden. It's got wonderful bright green foliage, some very attractive, interesting, almost chocolate brown seed heads, which add contrast to that bright green foliage. And what's unique most of all about the palm sedge is the foliage itself. The foliage itself kind of radiates around the stem, giving it that frond or palm-like appearance. Very attractive to designers, very attractive in the garden, massed or combined with rain garden wildflowers. So definitely one of the best is the palm sedge. Probably one of the neatest sedges, or at least neat as in the most interesting of seed heads, is this sedge here. This native sedge is called Gray's sedge. And what's interesting about Gray's sedge is the seed heads almost look like a mace club. I've heard them described as that. Probably the most unusual seed head of all the sedges out there. So very attractive for the garden with that star-like seed head. But it doesn't just stop at native sedges for cleaning the water in rain gardens and bioretention swales. Another good group of plants are our native rushes. And rushes also do a great job of cleaning the water, but they also provide a fine element for the garden, a nice fine texture and a nice vertical element. And sedges are distinguished from rushes by the rushes have round stems and sedges have triangular stems, and that's one of the reasons we tell them apart. So both great groups of plants for the rain garden. So remember, the next time you're including a rain garden or a bioretention garden in your landscape, to think of our native sedges, because they're the fantastic workhorses of that garden. But native sedges, our rushes, aren't just excluded to rain gardens. Wet or dry, sun or shade, there's a sedge for every spot in the garden.